I was born at the racetrack pretty much. I was actually born on a Tuesday, a dark day. There was no racing. Scheduled C-section because my father was a jockey and my mom wanted to make sure that I was born on a day when he could be there and be there to celebrate the moment. So from day one, the racetrack was a part of my life. I think I've changed my favorite bet over the years. When I was younger and just coming out to the track, I would always bet across the board because it was a very safe way to bet. You bet to win, you bet to place, you bet to show, and you end up usually going home with some money, and it kind of brought a little bit of confidence from me that way. But as I've learned more about handicapping and as I've been a part of the TVG staff, I really love the pick fours now. I love the challenge and the puzzle of the pick four that you see every day, where to find the single, where you need a little bit more coverage, and how you can use your strengths to your best ability to win. I think I do a little bit better in the turf races, a little bit better in the baby races. So if I can find a pick four that looks attractive to me from a perspective of I'm comfortable with those types of races, I feel really confident when I'm playing the pick four.
Gamblers, and welcome to week 7 of the NFL season. We made it. We're excited you're here with us. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, getting you ready for all the action this weekend, including your New York Jets. And as always, you guys know how we roll. I'm joined by our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make money. So now is the time to download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to place your bets with their advice. Plug in that promo code on your screen, MoreWays1000, to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy. It's legal. It's so much fun. So let's get this party started, guys. They're ready. I'm ready. You're ready. And Giants fans, as you know, your team played on Thursday night. So we're kicking things off with the New York Jets hosting the Bills at the Meadowlands. Guys, it has been a rough start to the year for the 0-6 Jets, the only winless team in the league right now, while struggling with the lowest scoring offense at just 12.5 points per game. Andrew Filippone, I'm coming right to you first. The Jets are getting 13.5 points in this matchup. It is the biggest spread of the week. Does New York cover that?
No, they don't. But, Dave, I'm so tempted to bet the Jets in this game. I just can't bring myself to do it. Now they're trading guys left and right. I look at a situation here. Could it be like Miami last year where they looked like an 0-16 team, and around this point in the year, they turned it around? The Bills have been uninspiring the last 2 weeks, but I could not live with myself if I bet the Jets here. They haven't covered a spread all year long, and I think that trend will continue in Orchard Park on Sunday.
Pony, there are only a few elite teams who should ever be minus 13.5 points on the road in the National Football League. And I'll tell you, the Buffalo Bills are not one of them. That is just too many points to lay on the road. I'm going to take the Jets in this spot. Typically, they're going to keep this game closer than 2 touchdowns. This is a sandwich game, by the way, for the Bills. They had the Chiefs last week. They have the Patriots next week. You think they care about winning this game by 2 touchdowns? They'll be more than happy to get out of there with a 16-13 win. I'm taking the Jets.
Well, that is a huge line. Certainly a lot of points to cover. Let's get the right take now. Get out to Chicago, bring in our NFL expert, Cole Wright, here with Marquee Sports Network, formerly, of course, with NFL Network. Cole, you heard the guys' picks. Which team do you have winning in this matchup, and by how many points? That line, 13.5. That is a lot.
Yeah. Well, Dave, the Jets, they are elite when it comes to losing football games. Because I just want to say that the Jets, well, they're not really good at playing tackle football. This, I think we know. They're one of the worst teams in the history of organized sports. And Jets fans, where's the culture? When you want to keep your head coach because he's so inept that you know you're going to keep losing games so you have a shot at Trevor Lawrence? It's a sad state of affairs going on with Gang Green. Meanwhile, we know that Josh Allen gave that Tim Tebow-esque speech in his last 3 games, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a game versus the Jets that could be just what the doctor ordered for Josh Allen and company. They're going to get back on track after losing back-to-back games. I think the Jets, well, they're still not very good at playing football. They're pretty much trash. So 28-7, you can count the Bills getting a win in this one.
You know what, Jets fans? I would take offense to that. If you don't think your team is trash, if you are backing your guys, roll with them. Take the Jets and the points. Again, 13.5 right now. Winning $50 bet on New York means that you're going to collect more than $94 on your wager. It's available right now, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Of course, use that promo code MoreWays1000 as well. Now let's get to the Patriots, who are taking on the 49ers in Foxborough this week. New England dropped to 2-3 after losing to Denver last week. This is the first time the Patriots are under 500 this deep into the season since 2002, guys. New England is giving 2.5 points to the 3-3 Niners here. Dave Weaver, which side do you like?
I'm going to go with San Francisco. I really think that they're getting healthier week by week, and you saw that last week when their offense got it together and they were able to beat the Rams at home. Now they have to take the show on the road, but that's been a good thing for the 49ers. They're 5-0 against the spread their last 5 games outside of San Francisco, and the Patriots have not been reliable at home. They looked terrible last week against the Broncos. Not only did they not cover, they didn't win the game. And, Pony, I'll admit, the Patriots had me fooled for a week or two. I actually thought they might be better than I originally had them pegged for as a non-playoff team. Well, they're not. 49ers here, 31-17.
Dave, this is a classic ice-cold overreaction on your part to 1 week of football, what the Patriots did, what the 49ers were able to do. Hear me out on this. Belichick was complaining about his team's lack of practice time going into the Denver game because of the COVID situation there. And now they get their center back, Andrews. They're allowed to move their center back to guard, Tooney, where he's more comfortable. And I just cannot fathom the Patriots losing 2 consecutive games in Foxborough. I've got to see it to believe it. It's a Garoppolo revenge spot for Belichick, too. You really think he wants his team with that great defense to lose this game? They didn't allow a touchdown last week. Remember that. Only field goals against Denver. I can't bet against New England needing this game. They can't fall to 2-4. Give me the Patriots.
All right, Patriots fans, if you want to tail Pony there, go ahead and do your thing. If you bet on your team, give the points there. You're going to collect more than $95 on a winning $50 bet. And hey, you know how we roll on this show. We are just getting started on our Week 7 breakdowns ahead. We're headed to primetime, those bright lights. We're getting our guys' picks for Sunday night and Monday Night Football. That's coming up in just about 10 minutes, so stick around for that. And, of course, the guy that sets all the lines for us at the FanDuel Sportsbook is joining me right now. Got to get the perspective from the odds maker himself, John Sheeran. Sheeran, look at that book right now. Are there any betting trends this week that have you kind of rethinking a specific line? What are you seeing?
There was one game that we couldn't agree on, Lisa, and I thought it was really interesting. It's the Steelers in Tennessee against the Titans. Kind of surprises me where this line has gotten to. We opened it actually as the Titans favored by 1.5. Tuesday morning, though, the Steelers were bet from -1.5 to -2.5. So it was nearly a field goal favorite for the Steelers on Tuesday afternoon. The team sat down yesterday. We all looked at it. We couldn't really agree. We ended up regrading it as the Titans -1.5 in the game. But I personally really like this spot for Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers are coming off their season's best performance, Lisa. We finally saw that defense step up, including that Minkah Fitzpatrick pick 6. First time we've heard from him all season. I think any improvement off the back of that shellacking of the Cleveland Browns means that they're going to be very hard to beat. I think it's reflected in the betting that we're seeing as well, Lisa, so far, with 85% of the money taking that 1.5 and the Steelers to cover the spread there. So I'd be a little bit surprised if this doesn't move back towards Pittsburgh, but the team couldn't agree fully.
Yeah, that is an interesting game to put that lineup for because of all of the movement in that game getting pushed back to COVID. But here we are in Week 6. We will see those two teams. We're going to talk about them a bit more ahead here. John sets the lines at the FanDuel Sportsbook, and Jets and Giants fans, this is now your personal invitation to join us for all the games this weekend. The FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands is across the parking lot from MetLife Stadium. We know you can't be in the stadium, but you can be at the Meadowlands in the Sportsbook with us. Dozens of TVs, table service, with food and drink, and of course live sports betting on all of your favorite teams and players. It is an experience you cannot miss. Mask up, keep your distance, of course. Enjoy your NFL Sunday with us at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. It'll be a great time, guaranteed. All right, of course, you can also place your bets on the app right now. So let's do that by putting some math to our money and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egros here. Ed, joining us from Dallas here, what lines need to be exposed this week?
Well, I might as well start with Dallas and Washington because that's all I've been hearing about the last few days. And a lot of armchair quarterbacks here are blaming the defense for this fetid start. but I combed through some advanced stats and I found something surprising. In terms of passing EPA, Dallas Cowboys actually have the fourth best success rate at 44.9%. Now, the actual dropback EPA ranks 26.206, but that's a product of giving up a few big plays and having the third worst starting field position defensively at near the 33-yard line, something the defense really can't help. Now, what's causing this poor field position defensively? Well, that's turnovers. Ezekiel Elliott has 5 fumbles this season, more than any running back in football. It has been a problem throughout his career. Zeke fumbles once every 63.5 carries. For perspective, Christian McCaffrey fumbles once every 95 carries, and Derrick Henry loses the handle once every 132 carries. Cowboys have the worst turnover differential in football by far. That is the problem. That's something I think Washington will exploit, so I'm taking the football team outright.
I'm going to fade you, Ed, and the reason why I'm going to do that is because guys like you tell me that turnover differential is kind of a luck thing. It's hard to predict week to week. I see regression to the mean here. Is Dallas really going to be so charitable giving the ball away over and over and over again? I don't see it. I think they've been a bad luck team so far this year. I'm going to take them in Washington this Sunday.
Pony, another bet that I think has some good value here is the total between the Chiefs and Broncos at 46, and Denver quarterback Drew Luck returns last week against the Patriots. Even though he didn't throw for a touchdown, his EPA CPOE composite score was .114, actually good for 14th highest among qualifying gunslingers. But for his career since last season, he ranks 21st in the same metric at .090. So I would blame that more on inconsistency, where maybe he might regress to the mean a little bit. Last season against the Chiefs, he had a bad throw rate of 30%, felt plenty of pressure, and that game resulted in 3 points for him. This is a division contest in Denver. KC may not want to show too much, featuring 2 teams that are in the bottom half in pace of play, so I'm going under this total.
And I'm going to tell you here, Ed, because one thing that we know about the Chiefs this year, they play up to their competition and they play down to their competition. I could see them being a little bit sluggish in this game as, about a 9-point favorite against the Broncos, maybe something like 21-17 when it's all said and done. I'm with you. I think this will be a low-scoring affair.
All right, at my Haas Stadium. All right, guys, of course, along with the total, you can also bet the spread. If you think the Broncos can keep pace with my Kansas City Chiefs and cover, go ahead and place a winning $50 bet. You're going to collect more than $97 on the app. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Download it right now. Check out all the Week 7 lines available for you. And new users, of course, be sure to use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. And for all of you new users, welcome, New Jersey. We're excited to have you with us. And of course, we take care of our family and our friends. So let's break this whole thing down and get to our 101 segment here. This is really a special fist bump for all of you new users to sports betting. And Dave, we've talked about spreads. We've talked about money line bets. We've talked about total wagers. You and Ed just bet that one there. Fill us in on what all this means. Give us your best bet for each one here in Week 7.
All right, well, let's start with the spread bet, and that simply means the amount of points that a team needs to win by to cover that set spread. We're going to begin with the Falcons and the Lions. I think the Falcons are going to win. I think they're going to win pretty handily. This is actually a pretty low spread. It's only 2 points, so if they win by a field goal or more, they're covering that spread. If somehow the Falcons won by 1 point, I would lose because they wouldn't cover that spread. But I'm going to think that they're going to win this game pretty easily. Now, the money line does not involve a spread at all. It just simply means you need to win the game. I'm going to use the Saints as my example for my money line bet because this is not a good line as far as the spread at being a little bit over a touchdown. I'm worried that maybe they're only going to win by 3 or maybe win by 7. So on the money line, that's okay. They just need to win, but it's a little bit more expensive. You have to bet $370 on the Saints to win 100. But all they have to do is win by 1 or 100. It's all the same. Now, as far as the total, that's very simple. The total amount of points scored in the game at the end by both teams combined. Let's go to Vegas, baby. We're talking about the Raiders and the Bucs. What do you see on a Sunday night in Vegas? A lot of lights. There are going to be a lot of lights on that scoreboard. This is going to be a high-scoring game, so I'm going to take the over in this one. The total is 51.5, so as long as we get 52 or more, it's a winner.
That's right. I say all 3 are winners, Dave. There you go, New Jersey. Plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available for you right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Thank you, Dave. Also a ton of fun parlays, props, alternate lines as well for those of you who've been at this for quite some time. Check it all out on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. All right, guys, let's move on now and talk daily fantasy and how you can turn about $4 into $1 million. Yes, back up that truck. You guys know how I roll. Enter the FanDuel Sunday Million Contest right now on FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. Our job, of course, is to help you win all of that money. So we're hooking you up with the best value plays for your lineup here. FanDuel Editor-in-Chief JJ Zacharyson in-house with his best values for Week 7.
McKinnon at $5,500. There's no Raheem Mostert in that backfield, so McKinnon should step up, see a little bit more work. I don't think he's going to hit the 92% snap share that he hit a few weeks ago without Raheem Mostert, but he should get more work in that backfield. He has about a 12% target share this season. At the very least, he'll be the pass-catching back. The matchup's not that great, but the usage and the $5,500 salary make McKinnon a nice value this week. Then there's also T. Higgins at $5,700. Higgins has now seen at least a 20% target share in each of his last 4 weeks, making him one of 7 wide receivers to do that across the entire league. Cincinnati's also been one of the pass-heaviest teams in the league this year, so Higgins is going to see volume, and he gets a Browns secondary this week that's been the second best matchup in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So he's a really, really good play at $5,700. And then lastly, there's Kareem Hunt. Cincinnati's an above-average matchup for running backs, and without Nick Chubb over the last couple of weeks, Hunt has handled a 64% running back rush share and 11% target share. Those are pretty strong numbers. And most importantly, he's seen the goal line work. So I really like Kareem Hunt in this matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals.
I like them all. I dig it, JJ. Thank you so much. Make sure to use JJ's information for a shot at winning $1 million in the Sunday Million Contest right now on FanDuel.com. Again, only about $4 to enter. There's a prize pool this week of $2.5 million. You can enter right now, FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. And there's even more money to be had, y'all. The Sunday Million Contest, just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com. And on the app, there are also a bunch of free DFS contests that you can enter right now. Just log on to FanDuel.com, download the app, sign up for your chance to win cash and legit prizes for free with our daily contests. They're available each and every week, so make sure to check them out. Time now to pile them up and just watch them pay. Let's bet some same-game parlays now where you can combine multiple bets from one game. Check it out. The bet is obviously self-explanatory here. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet as you combine your wagers for the same game. Now, the FanDuel Sportsbook was the first to offer this great feature for NFL wagers. It's so smooth and easy with us, and FanDuel is giving all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each week of the season. So, guys, got to get my team in here. Let's place those $10 bets and get creative here. Give me a same-game parlay bet that you like here in Week 7. Dave, you first. What you got?
Well, I like the Washington football team, and I think they're going to score plenty of points against the worst defense in the league, against the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to take Washington on the money line to win this game and get a slight plus money on that. But then I'm going to buy the total up a bit. The regular total's 46. I think this game gets into the 50s. So I'm going to take the alternate total 50.5 over. And now I got some value here. $10 makes me just shy of 40.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Browns here. And we know that they stink against good teams, but they're not playing one this week. It's Cincinnati. So they beat them by 5 the first time. I'm going to take them to win the game by between 1 to 13 points and to be leading at halftime. You put those two things together for a same-game parlay, a $10 bet win, you collect almost $40 on it. The Browns, I'm doing it, Dave, your team.
The real headliner this weekend is Jacksonville at the LA Chargers. Yes, both quarterbacks rank in the bottom half among all starters in EPA's CPOE composite. Jaguars are the slowest team in terms of pace of play, so I'm taking the under 49, but I also think LA is going to win this by 1 to 13 points. So my same game parlay, when I put these two together, $10 bet scores me a total of more than $44.
Awesome. I'll take those $44, and thank you. Great stuff by all of our guys. Now you can tail one of our guys, or hey, just build your own same-game parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Take advantage of that risk-free $10 bet. Just click on the same game, the game that you like, hit the same-game parlay tab, and then you just watch your odds increase. Be creative, have fun like our guys, and get that risk-free $10 same-game parlay bet. Now, guys, I teased it. You know we're going to deliver. It is prime time. We're starting with the Sunday night matchup. Tom Brady and the Bucs heading west to Las Vegas. Tampa Bay is actually a 4-point road favorite after their big win against Green Bay last week. Dave, give me your pick in this matchup.
I love the Raiders. I think this is a tough spot for Tampa Bay because they did have a big win last week. They were a home underdog. If you're not good enough to be favored at home, why are you good enough to be favored on the road? So I think this is a bad spot for Tampa. They're not very good against winning teams, with the exception of last week when they did beat Green Bay. They really haven't delivered against winning teams. 1-5-1 against the spread the last 7 times in this spot. And yeah, it's surprising, Pony. The Raiders are a winning team. Why? Because they can convert third downs, third best in the league, 52%. I think they're going to catch Tampa Bay off guard here and win big.
All right, Cole, got to get you in here for this. You heard Dave's pick here. Which team do you have winning, and by how many points on Sunday night?
Well, I don't know where Pony's at, but Dave, I'm sorry, man. I'm on the complete opposite side of the fence from you. The Bucs, they're in first place in the division, and the secret recipe, it hasn't been TB12, secret herbs and spices. It's been that defense. We're tops in the league in almost every category, top 10 across the board. Levante David and JPP, they're the anchors of this unit that has 22 sacks. That's the most in the last 2 decades through the first 6 games. Now, the last time Derek Carr faced Tampa on the flip side, well, that was 2016, and he roasted them. Over 500 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. It was an overtime win, but you look at the hands of time, that was a long time ago. The Bucs, they're finally starting to gel, so expect a big game from Tom Brady after that blowout of Aaron Rodgers and company. 34-21, Tampa, they're going to win this one.
Great stats, great points on both sides, guys. Let's get to Monday night now. A big NFC battle. The 5-1 Bears are in Los Angeles taking on the 4-2 Rams. Bears getting 6 points here. We were asking for Pony on Sunday night. How about Monday night, Pony? Who do you like here in this matchup?
I like the Rams. I think that the Bears made a mistake, Lisa. They should have tried to sign Le'Veon Bell because my issue with them in a game like this is, where's the supporting cast for Nick Foles? You know, Aaron Donald trying to run into the teeth of the LA defense is not a good idea. And I just don't like, especially the running backs around Nick Foles in this offense on the road in a spot like this. If they had brought Bell in, I would feel differently about this game. Cole, not Dave, Cole. But here I like the Rams at home with Bell now in Kansas City.
Awesome. There you go. You can take the Rams -6 right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use that promo code, new users. More ways, 1,000. Great stuff, Pony. Thank you. John Sharon, coming back to you now for your exclusive insight on the hottest bets that you're taking at the Sportsbook right now. Which teams are getting the most action here in Week 7?
I think there's an interesting one. The guys both spoke about the under for Kansas City this week, Lisa. We're seeing a ratio of about 4-1 for the Chiefs on the spread. Very interestingly, the total has dropped from 48.5 to 46 in that game. The guys still spoke about it and talked about how they love the under. They missed the biggest fact, Lisa. The biggest fact is there's a lot of snow forecast for Saturday and Sunday in Denver. We think that, that total could continue to drop if we see some heavy snow showers for sure. So I'd watch that one very closely. I think in terms of the games this weekend, the Packers and the Texans is definitely the most lopsided one we're going to have come Sunday. The line's been hovering around about a field goal, -3.5 for the Packers right now, but 90% of the money plus has come for the Green Bay Packers in what looks to be a good spot for them to attack that weak Texan defense again, Lisa. So that's probably the one that's seen the most heat so far.
Okay, awesome insight, Sharon. Thank you. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole, right now. Give some underdogs some love here. Of course, betting on an underdog to win outright gets you some great value and a really big payout here. So, Cole, let's get some money line moneymakers. Who's on upset alert here in Week 7?
All right. Well, last week I was perfect. 2 weeks ago, rather. But last week, I let everybody down. So this week I'm going to make sure everything is on the right track. And I'm going to go with, despite getting their first win of the season last week versus Minnesota, the Falcons, well, they've allowed 23 or more points in every single game. And the Detroit Lions, well, they posted at least 23 in 4 of their last 5 games. Atlanta, they're going to show us why Dan Quinn's out there updating his LinkedIn page. I think the Lions get the win in this one, Lisa, 24-20. And then the other underdog, well, that's the Houston Texans, because I'm going to go against the numbers. Green Bay, they've never lost in Houston, while the Texans, they're just sputtering along at 1-5. But away from Lambeau, the Packer defense, well, they've been leaky. Minnesota, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay all going for 30 or more points. So give me Houston in this one, 24-21. Deshaun Watson, he needs this win, Lisa.
Okay, awesome, Cole. Thank you. All right, gamblers, head to the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Take a look at the odds for each matchup. They're right there on your screen. See if there's a moneyline bet that you like. And remember, picking an underdog to win outright means plus money for you. All right, you can make that moneyline bet or any bet right now on the app, risk-free up to $1,000. All you have to do, sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by using the promo code right there on your screen. More ways, 1,000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. All right, guys, so let's party. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. Let's make our viewers some money here. Dave, you first. What's your bet?
I'm going with the Raiders, and I'm not just going to take the 4 points that they're getting to get that minus 110. I'm going to flip it the other way around, and I'm actually going to lay just shy of a touchdown. These odds actually might rise before kickoff as well on this alternate spread. Currently plus 250, so my $1,000 would win me $2,500 if the Raiders win by a touchdown.
I'm going to go with an underdog parlay. I'm going to crib a little bit from our buddy Cole. I'm going to take Houston against Green Bay. They should have won last week against Tennessee. Just a bad decision late in that game. I'm going to take Houston, and Arizona's been my team all year. At home against Seattle, I don't see the Seahawks slowing them down. Plus 550, $1,000 to win more than $5,000.
I am about to fade two panelists in one here because I'm going with the Packers alternate spread. It's a strange number, but who am I to question my own models? I'm going to take it all the way to 11.5. I think Green Bay is going to win this thing by at least a dozen points. Aaron Rodgers is very much defense dependent in terms of how he performs. If he's taking on a lackluster pass defense like Houston has, I think he will absolutely carve them up. $1,000 risk-free bet scores me $3,600.
Open that book, Ed. Just read all the chapters. I'm here for it always. Gamblers, I know you're here for it too. Make sure to sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook account right now to place your bet. Remember, use the promo code we've been talking about all show long. It's been on your screen. More ways, 1,000. Get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. This is for new users when you sign up for your new account. It's easy. It's legal. It is live right now. All you do is take your winnings if you hit, get your money back to place yet another bet if you don't. It's kind of the best mulligan out there. All right, guys, got to bring my team back in here because, yes, it is week 7, but ahead of us in 2021, because we will turn the page on the calendar, we've got the Super Bowl coming up. So let's talk about the favorites on this list. You see right there, the Chiefs still the favorite there at plus 390, and you see everyone else on the list. Dave, I'm coming to you first. You have 6 weeks of just play that you can dig into and see who you think will win the Super Bowl. Who do you think it'll be?
I mean, after 6 weeks, I'm really surprised the Steelers are still 12-1. It's a team that really I wasn't registering as a Super Bowl bet, but that to me is value right now. They're undefeated. Why are the Ravens 5.5-1 and the Steelers are 12-1? I think that's a good price on the Steelers.
I bet this week, Lisa, off the board play. I took the Dolphins as a hedge potential down the road. They can win the division. Now you've got upside potential with the quarterback change to Tua. I think they're way under the radar. Will they win the Super Bowl? No, probably not, but the value is through the roof.
Dave, it's interesting you're talking about the Steelers because when you're looking at power rankings, it's Pittsburgh and Tennessee basically neck and neck in the AFC. But the price for Tennessee is a heck of a lot better, 17-1 as opposed to 12-1. I think the Titans are an absolute steal at this point. Could very well be the second best team in the AFC, and you never know from that point.
I was trying to find Miami on my app so I could go ahead and bet it, and it's so far down there, Pony. I tell you what. Hey, you can place their bets for Super Bowl winners right now. Just keep scrolling for the Miami one. And hey, thanks to our analysts and thanks for you all for hanging with us today and watching the FanDuel Sportsbooks. More ways to win. Take our experts' tips. Make yourself some money right now and download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use that promo code MOREWAYS1000. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you right back here next.
Manscaped's Lawnmower 3.0 with advanced insert technology.
Wow.
It's time! Get the official electric trimmer of the UFC at manscaped.com.
TVG Saturday. Phillies and Mares sprint 5.5 furlongs on the grass in the Grade 3 Senator Ken Matty from Santa Anita. Play Saturday. Santa Anita, first post, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific.
Hey guys, I'm Dave Weaver with the Lanes End Farm Weekly Preview. Saturday, watch and wager on Jim McKay Maryland Million Day at Laurel Park, and at Santa Anita on Saturday, Phillies and Mares will sprint on the grass in the Grade 3 Senator Ken Matty Stakes. And then Sunday, the Great Race Place features the Grade 2 Golden Cobra. Make sure to watch all this great racing, and you can wager on it with TVG as well.
Saturday night. Action from Japan with the Grade 1 Kikuka Show, the Japanese St. Ledger from Kyoto Racecourse. Get free PPs at TVG.com and watch and wager Saturday night, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. TVG Friday night, Australia Racing with the 100th running of the Cox Plate from Moonee Valley, brought to you by Magic Millions. Get free PPs at TVG.com and join us Friday night, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific.
What's up, Pennsylvania, and welcome to Week 7. Yes, we made it. I'm so excited you're here with us. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, and as always, you know how we roll. Bringing in our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make some money. So yes, right now is the time to download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Place your bets with their advice throughout this show. Guys, use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. So let's go ahead and make all that money, Easy, legal, and live right now. So let's party. They're ready. I'm ready. You're ready. And we're kicking things off with a huge matchup for the Steelers, guys. Pittsburgh takes its 5-0 record to Tennessee. Tennessee also 5-0. Remember, this game was postponed because of COVID, rescheduled for this week. So here we are. We've got the Steelers' number 2 rushing defense up against Titans running back Derrick Henry coming off that monster 40-point fantasy game. I should know, I played against him. 212 yards, leads the league in rushing. Mike Tomlin said this is like Bud Dupree running the football, except Henry is faster. Obviously. Andrew Filipponi, you're the radio voice in Pittsburgh. Steelers getting 1.5 points in this matchup. Which way are you going?
Well, you guys bring me on here to make these picks with my head and not my heart, and that's why I like the Titans in this spot. Dave, you know who Robert Spillane is? He's not the guy that sold you your energy drink at the gas station this morning to get ready for the show. He's now the Steelers' inside linebacker because Devin Bush is out, and guys, this is a big loss for Pittsburgh. He's their defensive quarterback. He's the guy that gets them in the right looks. He can play sideline to sideline. He was the guy they traded up to replace Ryan Shazier, the 10th pick in the draft. He's been outstanding. And now some undrafted no-name from Western Michigan is going to get thrown into the fire against Derrick Henry on the road, Dave. I've come around on Ryan Tannehill, too. He's the real deal. I'm taking Tennessee to go to 6-0.
I don't know if you've been right about the Steelers all year. You might be 0-6. I mean, 0-5. Seriously, you thought the Browns were going to go in there and beat them last week. The radio voice in Pittsburgh knows nothing about betting on the Steelers. Come on, they are the better side in this game, Pony. You look at the matchups of the same teams that they played. Steelers beat Denver more easily, and Steelers beat Texans more easily than the Titans have. And even with that injury, as you mentioned, Steelers are still going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. It's not an easy thing, but with their rush defense, you shut down Henry, you win the game. Give me the Steelers.
Dude is like a thick bowling ball coming through. All right, guys, we need somebody to break this tie. Let's get the right take here. Get out to Chicago. Bring in our NFL expert, Cole Wright, with Marquee Sports Network, formerly with NFL Network. Cole, you heard the guys' picks. Who do you have winning, and by how many points in this matchup?
Well, Dave and I, we're walking here in lockstep because you walk the dog, take out the garbage, do what you need to do because this battle of undefeated is going to be worth the price of admission, no doubt about it. Pittsburgh, the exact opposite of Tennessee, however, they're businesslike when it comes to defense and that hot and cold offense. Well, it's been sputtering at times, and the Steelers, they're expected on D to bring the woodshed to Ryan Tannehill, but he's only been sacked 6 times this season, and that may be a testament to his running back who's built like a front porch. That's Derrick Henry, and we know 3 games straight with a pair of touchdowns. Plus, he's looking for back-to-back rushing titles for the first time since 2007. So expect another big game from Derrick Henry, not 200-plus yards, but the numbers, they're still going to be solid. Tennessee, they're going to win this battle of undefeateds 21-17. Sorry, Pony.
All right, there it is. All right, Steelers fans, if you roll with our guys, Aaron Cole and Dave, you're going to get some money. A winning $50 bet on Pittsburgh means you're going to collect more than $95. You can bet it right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. New users, it's more ways 1,000. We're going to get to that, but Eagles fans, your team played Thursday night. You already know that. So we're going to get into a big NFC East matchup between Dallas and Washington. Washington has lost 5 in a row, guys. Dallas coming off that home loss to the Cardinals on Monday night, dealing with a whole bunch of drama there in Dallas. The Cowboys giving 1 point in this matchup. Dave Weaver, who do you like?
Pony called it before the season started that the Cowboys were just going to be in disarray with the coaching change, and they have been. They are the only team other than the Jets who hasn't covered a game this year. The Cowboys are 0-6 against the spread, and I think that moves to 0-7 here. The Washington football team has been one of the teams I've watched the most closely the last 3 or 4 weeks, and even though they haven't been winning, these guys can play. You got Antonio Gibson running the ball in the backfield, and J.D. McKissick. This guy can catch it and run. I think the Washington football team is going to put the beat down on the Cowboys here. I love them.
Yeah, I don't. I know, hey, I was clairvoyant on Dallas as a whole this year, but this to me is a classic Andy Dalton game where he wins. I mean, he can't beat good teams. He was, couldn't keep up with Arizona. The 2 Elliott fumbles to me are something that's not going to happen again this week. I like Dallas. They're just going to barely do enough to keep themselves in first place in the division. Matchup of quarterbacks, Andy Dalton, Kyle Allen. I'll take Dalton. He's over 500 for his career. The Cowboys will trick people and fool people into being a decent team with a double-digit win this week in Washington.
Maybe Mike McCarthy's right at the ship a little bit there in Big D. Eagles fans, if you want to root against the Cowboys and make money doing that, place a winning $50 bet on Washington. Tail Dave there, you're going to collect more than $93. And of course, on this show, you know how we roll. We're just getting started on our Week 7 breakdowns. Ahead, we're talking prime time. We're going to those bright lights, getting our guys' picks for Sunday night and Monday night football. That is coming up here on the program in just about 10 minutes. And, of course, the guy that sets all the lines for us at the FanDuel Sportsbook joins us right now, the oddsmaker himself, Mr. John Sheeran. I am not worthy, John. Thanks for joining us. Give us a peek at that book, my man. Are there any betting trends this week that have you a little bit nervous, rethinking a specific line?
There's one line I'm nervous about, and I just got even more nervous, Lisa. That's because Dave picked it, and that's never a good thing for us. We couldn't agree on it internally. The Steelers in Tennessee against the Titans is one where we had a lot of disagreement internally. We initially opened this line with the Titans as a favorite by 1.5 last week. That had swung all the way around to the Steelers being 1.5 point favorites on Monday. By Tuesday, that was bet actually to Pittsburgh minus 2.5. So we sat down as a team yesterday. We regraded the game. And we looked at it and we put the Titans up minus 1.5. I personally don't agree. I think the Steelers should be favored. I think they're the better side. I think if you look at the Tennessee record, it's kind of misleading. Outside of the Bills game, they've won all the other games by less than a touchdown, 1 score. And in all of those wins, they were actually in really big trouble from a win probability during the game. So I think that record for Tennessee could be slightly misleading. We saw the Pittsburgh defense stand up for the first time this season last week against that Browns team. Minka Fitzpatrick with a pick 6, the first time we've heard from him all season. And I expect them to carry that momentum forward and win that game. So that's one that we have a lot of kind of internal disagreement, Lisa. I can only see it move towards the Steelers before kickoff, though.
I can only imagine, Sharon, that when you sit down with your group and regrade those games, that your voice would trump everyone else's. Sharon, I'm going to have to talk to you about that offline. All right, of course, you can place your bets on the app right now. So, hey, let's do that by putting some math to our money now. You see Ed on your screen, and you know that means analytics. So, Ed, joining us from Dallas here, what lines need to be exposed this week?
Well, Lisa, an abysmal game against Pittsburgh has enough in the betting market thinking Baker Mayfield is absolutely washed. But this is when you can pounce on a good line at -3.5. The system is bailing out this Cleveland passing attack. They have the 9th most passing attempts out of play action at 53. Good 409 yards, or 7th highest in football. These numbers are similar for Joe Burrow. 7th most passing attempts out of play action, but 14th in total yards. Difference to me is the running game. Kareem Hunt comes in 9th in rushing yards over expected per carry at 0.82. Bengals' Joe Mixon comes in 40th at -0.31. My model has this one at Browns -4.5 against the Bengals, which is about the margin of victory for Cleveland in the first meeting. I think history repeats itself, and the Browns cover on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you here, Ed, I think that the Browns are a generic kind of knockoff brand Ravens, where they are such a front-running team. As long as they're able to run the ball, they're in good shape. And I don't see Cincinnati shutting down the run like the Steelers did or like the Ravens did in Week 1. So with that in mind, I'm with you. I love your style today. I love your look, and I love your pick, Ed. How about that?
Aw, shucks, you're too nice to me, Pony. Too nice. Hey, another bet that I think has some good value here. Chiefs-Broncos total at 46. Denver quarterback Drew Lock returned last week against the Patriots. And even though he didn't throw for a touchdown, his EPA-CPOE composite score was .114, which is good for 14th highest among qualifying quarterbacks. But for his career, since it started last season, Lock ranks 21st in the same metric at .09. You blame that on inconsistency. Last season against the Chiefs, he had a bad throw rate of 30%. He felt plenty of pressure, and that game resulted in 3 points for him. This is a division contest in Denver where KC doesn't want to show too much, featuring 2 teams in the bottom half in pace of play. Maybe there's a little weather to be concerned about, so I'm taking the under total here.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go exactly with you, because I think that Kansas City gets up for the big games, the big teams like Buffalo and Baltimore. And then against the Broncos, not going to bring it so much offensively. I think it's going to be a little bit of a boring game, maybe 24-17, 21-17, somewhere in there. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to take the under.
Great stuff, guys. Of course, in addition to betting the total, you can also bet the spread for this one. If you think the Broncos can keep pace with those Kansas City Chiefs and cover, hey, place a winning $50 bet and you're going to collect more than $97. You can place that bet right now. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Check out all the Week 7 lines. They're available right now throughout the week as well. And new users, be sure to use that promo code we talked about at the beginning of the show. It's on your screen, More Ways 1000, when you sign up for a new account. And for all you new users out there, welcome, Pennsylvania. We're excited to have you with us, and we take care of our family. So let's break this whole thing down. We're going to slow it down just a second and get to our 101 segment. This is really a special fist bump for all of you new users out there, new to sports betting. Dave, I come right to you for this. We've talked about spreads, money line bets, total wagers as well. Fill us in here on what all of that means and give us your best bet for each here in Week 7. What you got?
All right, just a quick explanation as to what all these terms mean, what we've been talking about, a spread. Very simple. That is the amount of points attached to a team in a game that they have to win or lose by to cover that spread. Let's use the Atlanta Falcons as my example. I like them to win this game by more than the spread. The spread is 2 points. So if they only won by 1, they would not cover the spread. But if they win by a field goal or more, 3 or more, they would. I think that's going to happen. So my spread bet in this game is going to be to take Atlanta to win by at least 2. Now, if you're worried about a team not winning by enough points to cover the spread, you can bet them on the money line. The money line means you just need to win the game. It could be by 1, it could be by 100 points. Let's use the Saints as my example here, because this is a tricky line, a little bit more than a touchdown. They're -7.5 on the spread. So if they win by 7, you would actually lose that spread bet. But if you bet them on the money line, you would win. It gets a little bit more expensive. You can see there -370 means you have to risk $370 to win $100. But I'm going to do that because I think they're going to win this game against Carolina. And then the total amount of points in a game from both teams at the end. You just add up the scores. Let's go to Las Vegas and the Raiders and the Bucs. I think this is going to be an absolutely high-flying affair. It's a big total, though, 51.5 points. But if you get 52-0, or it could be 28-27, as long as you have more than 51.5 at the end of the game and you have the over, you're going to win.
There you go. You can place all those bets. You can do it right now. Pennsylvania, plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Thank you, Dave. And of course, a ton of fun parlays. We've got props, alternate lines as well for those of you who've been at this for a little while. Check it all out. Everybody's welcome to the party. It's on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Thank you, Dave. Now you're all set. So Pennsylvania, if you're making a road trip to New Jersey and to this area, this is your personal invitation to join us at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands, located right across the street, right across the parking lot, rather, from MetLife Stadium. We know you can't be in the stadiums, but you can be at the Meadowlands in the Sportsbook with us. Dozens of TVs, table service, food and drinks, games on every TV, and of course, live sports betting on all of your favorite teams and players as well. Mask up, keep your distance, enjoy your NFL Sunday with us at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. I'm telling you, I've been there multiple times. It is the place to be. Time now to talk daily fantasy. And how can you turn about $4 into $1 million? Yes, back up that truck, everybody. Enter the FanDuel Sunday Million Contest on FanDuel.com on the app right now. Our job, of course, is to help you make that $1 million so you can share with me, right? We're going to hook you up with the best value plays for your lineup. FanDuel Editor-in-Chief JJ Zachariason in-house with his best values here for Week 7.
One value I really like this week is Jerick Mckinnon at $5,500. There's no Raheem Mostert in that backfield, so McKinnon should step up, see a little bit more work. I don't think he's going to hit the 92% snap share that he hit a few weeks ago without Raheem Mostert, but he should get more work in that backfield. He has about a 12% target share this season. At the very least, he'll be the pass-catching back. The matchup's not that great, but the usage and the $5,500 salary make McKinnon a nice value this week. Then there's also T. Higgins at $5,700. Higgins has now seen at least a 20% target share in each of his last 4 weeks, making him one of 7 wide receivers to do that across the entire league. Cincinnati's also been one of the pass-heaviest teams in the league this year, so Higgins is going to see volume, and he gets a Browns secondary this week that's been the second best matchup in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So he's a really, really good play at $5,700. And then lastly, there's Kareem Hunt. Cincinnati's an above-average matchup for running backs, and without Nick Chubb over the last couple of weeks, Hunt has handled a 64% running back rush share and 11% target share. Those are pretty strong numbers. And most importantly, he's seen the goal line work. So I really like Kareem Hunt in this matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Great info, JJ. Thank you as always. Now take JJ's information for a shot at winning $1 million in the Sunday Million Contest on FanDuel.com. Again, only about $4 to enter, and there is a prize pool this week of $2.5 million. It's right now available for you, FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. And of course, there's even more money to be had. The Sunday Million is just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. There are also a bunch of free DFS contests for you to enter right now. Log on to FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app. Sign up for your chance to win cash and really legit cool prizes, too. This all happens for free when you play our daily contests with us each and every week. All right, time now to pile them up and watch them pay. Let's bet some same game parlays here where you can combine multiple bets from one game. Check it out. The bet is self-explanatory. You guys know what we're doing here. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet as you combine your wagers for the same game. The FanDuel Sportsbook was the first to offer this great feature for NFL wagers. It's smooth and it is so easy with us. And FanDuel is giving all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each week of the season. I love hearing that, guys. Let's get in here. Let's place those $10 bets and get creative here. Give me a same-game parlay bet that you are hammering, one that you like here in Week 7. Dave, you first.
I'm going to go to Washington and the football team to beat the Cowboys pretty easily and by scoring a lot of points. I'm going to take Washington on the money line, which is a little bit of an underdog, by the way. And then I'm going to take the regular total, which is 46, and buy it up a little bit. You can do an alternate total. I'm going to take it up to 50.5. So when Washington wins this game 37-20, I'm going to cash $10, gets me back just shy of a $40 profit.
Yeah, this game for the Browns, I'm going to take them here in the same game parlay. This is more in their comfort zone. It's not the Ravens. It's not the Steelers. It's right in their wheelhouse. Myles Garrett against the shaky offensive line. Joe Mixon iffy for this game. So give me Cleveland on the money line in the first half. They just need to be winning. And give me them to win by 1 to 13 points. Put those two things together. $10 risk-free collects almost $40.
Jacksonville at the LA Chargers, the game you're not talking about. I think I know why. But both quarterbacks rank in the bottom half among all starters in EPA CPOE composite. Jaguars are the slowest team in terms of pace of play, so I'm taking the under 49, but I also think the Chargers will win between 1 to 13 points, by 1 to 13 points. So my same game parlay $10 bet, when you put it all together, scores me more than $44.
There it is. Look at the return on all that plus money. Thank you, guys. Awesome stuff. You can tell one of our guys, or hey, just get in there and create your own same game parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Take advantage of that risk-free $10 bet as well. Just click on the game that you like and then hit the same game parlay tab and watch your odds increase as you add up your wagers there. Be creative. Have a lot of fun here, guys. Thanks for playing with us, and thanks for hanging with us on this show. I teased it. And here we are. It is time now to talk prime time. And we are starting with the Sunday night matchup. We've got Tom Brady and the Bucs head west to Las Vegas. Tampa Bay is actually a 4-point road favorite after their big win against Green Bay last week. Dave, give me your pick for this matchup.
I'm going with the Raiders. I do not trust Tampa Bay Bucs on the road as a favorite here. They weren't even good enough to be favored at home, and now they're going to be a road favorite. The Raiders are, I think, still a little bit underrated. They're a winning team, and the Bucs aren't that good against winning teams. Only 1-5-1 against the spread in their last 7 games in this spot. The one time they did cover was last week when they had to play really well, and they did, to beat the Packers. But I see a letdown game here as they head out west and go to Las Vegas. I think the Raiders are going to catch them off guard here and surprise them with what they can do deep down the field. You saw it against the Kansas City Chiefs where they converted 50% of the third downs. They're third best in the league at converting those third downs. And I think they're going to make the Bucs defense work really hard here to keep them under 40 points. I think the Raiders are going to score a ton here, and they're going to win the game.
I think it's some great points, Dave. Cole, I'm curious for your take here. Got to get you back in here for this. You heard Dave's pick. Which team do you have winning on Sunday night, and by how many points?
Well, Dave, how dare you doubt the first place Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady right now? I think Tom has that defensive unit drinking some of that alkaline water that he starts each and every single day with, because they're number one in the league in nearly every category, top 10 across the board. Levante David and JPP, these guys have been animals this season. This unit has 22 sacks. That's the most in the last 2 decades through the first 6 games. But on the flip side, the last time Derek Carr faced Tampa, it was 2016, and he roasted them. 513 yards, a quartet of touchdowns. It was an overtime win, but like we said, that was 2016, and the Bucs, they're starting to gel, so expect a big game for Tom Brady after blowing out Aaron Rodgers and company. 34-21. I think Tampa gets the win here.
Yeah, and all that alkaline water. Thank you, Cole. Thanks for the reminder of how to start my day. Now to Monday night, a big NFC battle here. The 5-1 Bears are in Los Angeles to take on the 4-2 Rams. Bears are getting 6 points here in this matchup, Pony. Who do you like?
Alkaline water. I think after Bears fans watch this game, they're going to need a bourbon or a shot because, at some point here, Chicago just can't win games with their defense and like one clutch play from Nick Foles. And I think their kind of Cinderella ride here ends against LA. Too many weapons for the Rams right now. I love what I've seen from Darrell Henderson at running back. The Bears aren't getting that production from their running backs. This just is a spot for LA, I think, to rebound from what they did last week, struggling in San Francisco. They're undefeated at home. Can Chicago win a second consecutive road game after that upset in Carolina last week? I don't think so. I'm going to take the Rams big in this spot.
It's definitely asking a lot, Pony. Ed, got to get you in here. Pony decided to tail or fade you earlier in the show. Now you get to return the favor. So how are you playing this one?
I don't think the Rams are going to win big, but I do think they win this game and cover, but slightly. And the biggest difference with Chicago's offense with Nick Foles instead of Mitch Trubisky is average depth of target. This season, Trubisky's ADOT is 10 yards longest in football. But for Foles, he's at 8 yards, which ranks 16th. It's a more conservative offense that is slightly better, but nowhere near the top tier in football. Now, for perspective, Jared Goff's ADOT is 7.3 yards this season, coming in 24th. But that offense runs far better. Dropback EPA is 8th highest with the Rams. Bears are 25th. And while I know LA took it on the chin against the Niners, had Cooper Kupp caught a few more open passes, it would have been a different game. I have this at 6.5, not 6, but I'm taking the much better offense. I'm taking the Rams.
Okay, take that little cushion there. Thank you, Ed. Good stuff, guys. John Sharon, coming back to you for your exclusive insight here on the hottest bets at the sportsbook right now. When you're looking at your book, which teams are taking the most action here in Week 7?
There's only one answer, Lisa. It's the Green Bay Packers against the Texans. By far and away the most lopsided book we'll have all weekend. The line's been hanging around a field goal -3.5 right now. And 90% plus of the money's come for the Packers. It's very hard not to see this game an over and back game, Lisa. And I think the public are trusting Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers despite what happened last week in Tampa Bay.
Okay. Thank you, Sharon. Great stuff. I was writing down my notes. Got to make that money, too. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole, right now. Let's give some underdogs a little love here. Of course, betting on an underdog, Cole, as you know, gets you some really great value and a really great payout. So let's get some moneyline moneymakers, Cole. Who's on upset alert here in Week 7?
Well, Lisa, I'm putting the Packers on upset alert. The Houston Texans, we know they've seen a rough patch all season long. They're 1-5, but I'm going to have to go with Deshaun Watson and company. We know that the Green Bay defense, they've been leaky away from Lambeau. So you can count the Houston Texans to get a win here, 24-21. And then on the flip side, well, I'm going to go with the Lions getting a 24-20 win over the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Atlanta, they've showed why Dan Quinn right now doesn't have a job. They've been stumbly just a little bit. So go with the Lions, 24-20, taking out Matt Ryan and company.
All right, there it is. All right, gamblers, head to the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Take a look at the odds for each matchup and see if there's a moneyline bet that you like. Remember, picking an underdog means plus money. Thank you for that, Cole. All right, guys, let's get to it. You can make that moneyline bet or any bet on the app risk-free right now, up to $1,000. All you have to do is sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by using the promo code right there on your screen. We've talked about it all show long. It's more ways 1,000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. I call it the best mulligan in the business. Guys, let's party. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. So let's make our viewers some money. Let's get my team in here. Dave, coming to you first. Where's your risk-free bet going?
I'm going to Vegas. I like the Raiders in this spot, and I think the wrong team's favored. Tampa Bay is -4. I'm going to flip that, and I think the Raiders are going to win by at least a touchdown in this game. So I'm going to take the alternate spread, laying 6.5 points with the Raiders. Now my $1,000 is going to make me $2,500.
Lisa, I'm a dog lover. I've got 2 at home. I let them sleep in bed with me. I let them lick my face. So I'm going to dedicate this pick to them. I'm taking 2 dogs. I'm going to take Houston on the money line at home against Green Bay. I love what I'm seeing from this team after the Bill O'Brien firing. Should have beaten Tennessee last week. And Arizona, at some point, they're going to start to get the respect and credit they deserve. And it'll start here by handing Seattle their first loss. $1,000 risk-free wins you over $5,000.
I let them lick my face. I can't get that visual out of my head. Thanks a lot. Alternate spread in the Packers-Texans game is my play here. It is a strange number, but I'm going to roll with my model here. I have Green Bay -11.5. I think that they win by a dozen points or more. Last week taught us that Aaron Rodgers is defense dependent. If he's taking on a lackluster pass defense, which Houston has, he will absolutely carve them up. And so a $1,000 risk-free bet for me scores me $3,600.
All right, y'all, if you're going to roll with the dogs and let them lick your faces too, help them make you some money as well. Make sure to sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account right now. Place your bet, and remember, use that promo code MOREWAYS, 1,000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy, legal, live with us right now. Hey, take your winnings if you hit, and just get your money back to do it all over again if you don't. We're just about done on this show, but I want to get to the Super Bowl odds right now. Hey, the Chiefs still the favorite here at plus 390. There it is. I want to go through the list and get your picks here. Who's winning the Super Bowl, Dave?
I'll go with Big Ben and the Steelers. I think that's a good pick right there at plus 1,200.
Take the Dolphins as a huge long shot, and when they make the playoffs, get super excited.
Seattle is still my favorite, but the Tennessee Titans are rising up the board for me.
Okay, yeah, I told you, Pony, I was scrolling and kept scrolling. I did find the Dolphins at 14-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. All right, guys, enjoy Week 7. Thanks for hanging with us on FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. Enjoy the games. Good luck with your bets. We'll see you right back here next week on More Ways to Win.
Time for new reading glasses? Go to readers.com. Choose from hundreds of styles and colors for under $20. And now enter this exclusive TV coupon code at checkout to save up to 40%. That's readers.com.
Hey, neighbor, we got to talk.
Jay? No, he only comes to Bugle on race days.
Race days?
With the TVG app, every day is race day. You can place bets right in your phone. Even stream live races.
Top-notch runners facing off.
I can have a day at the track whenever I want, right at home.
Coming through, guys.
Go get him, Mike.
Mike Smith?
Yeah, Mike Smith.
There's a new home of horse racing. Yours. Get a 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $250.
Hey guys, I'm Dave Weaver with the Lanes End Farm Weekly Preview. Saturday, watch and wager on Jim McKay Maryland Million Day at Laurel Park, and at Santa Anita on Saturday, Phillies and Mares will sprint on the grass in the Grade 3 Senator Ken Matty Stakes. And then Sunday, the Great Race Place features the Grade 2 Goldacova. Make sure to watch all this great racing, and you can wager on it with TVG as well.
TVG Sunday. Wrap up a winning weekend with the Grade 2 Goldacova Stakes from the Great Race Place. Phillies and Mares at a mile on the grass. Play Sunday. Santa Anita, first post, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific.
What up, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan? Welcome to Week 7 of the NFL season. We made it. We're excited you're here with us. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, getting you ready for all the NFL action this week. And as always, I'm joined by our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make some money. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Place your bets with their advice throughout this show. Use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. So let's go ahead and make all that money easy, legal, and live right now. Let's get this party started. They're ready, I'm ready, you're ready, and we are kicking things off under the bright lights of Monday Night Football, guys. Your 5-1 Chicago Bears head west to Los Angeles to take on those Rams. Bears have not allowed more than 19 points in their last 3 games. Andrew Filipponi, Chicago's getting 6 in this matchup. Do they cover that 6?
No, I mean, they've lived, you said it well, they've feasted off turnovers and sacks to get to this point where they've exceeded everyone's expectations, Lisa. But I think the fun ends here. I don't understand how the Bears can be competitive in this game when they can't run the ball to save their lives. 58 rushing yards last week for Montgomery, and now they're bringing that run game into a matchup with Aaron Donald. Dave, you cannot be one-dimensional against L.A. to ask Nick Foles to win this game throwing it 30 to 40 times. They're going to get killed. I would be shocked if the Bears scored more than 2 touchdowns in this game. Give me the Rams.
I wouldn't be. I'm surprised that a 5-1 team is getting 6 points in this day and age in the NFL. Could you imagine the Chiefs getting 6 points against the Browns, a 4-2 team? I mean, this just doesn't add up to me. I'm going to take a team that's surprised me this year in the Bears and take the points. I think that's just too many to get the 6.
All right, guys. Let's get a tiebreaker here. Time now for the right take. Let's get right to the heart of Chicago. Bring in our NFL expert, Cole Wright, with Marquee Sports Network, formerly of NFL Network, of course. Cole, you heard the guys' picks. Which team do you have winning and by how many points in this matchup?
Well, Lisa, I'll tell you what, this Bears team, they leave me scratching my head every single week. They have to be the most lopsided team in all of the league. Top 10 defense, but overall offensively, 28th. Now, despite the inconsistency, they're 3-0 on the road and 5-1 for the first time since 2012. But their biggest mission this week on Monday Night Football, keep Aaron Donald out of the backfield and away from Nick Foles. Now, 99 has 27 quarterback pressures, 7.5 sacks. So if the Bears can do that and rattle Jared Goff, who has 2 picks on Monday Night Football in 3 appearances, then I think they could roll to a victory here. 21-14, a one-score win for the Chicago Bears, Lisa.
All right, there you go. Bears fans, you can take a call there if you roll with your guys and take the Bears and the points. A winning $50 bet on your Chicago guys means you're going to collect more than $95. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Again, that promo code MOREWAYS1000. Let's get to the Lions now, facing the Falcons in Atlanta. Detroit has won 2 of their last 3, including a W in Jacksonville last weekend, guys. The Lions getting 2 points against Atlanta, who got their first win last week. Dave Weaver, which side do you like in this matchup?
Shocker, Pony. I like the Falcons, but it's really not because I picked them every single week. Good call by you last week, by the way, taking them over the Vikings. But it's that Matt Stafford hasn't had a very good career against the Falcons. I'm going to go with the other Matt Ryan, to outplay Matthew Stafford. You know, most people probably research how is a quarterback done, winning or losing. All I care about is, do you cover? So Stafford 0-4 against the spread. Falcons coming off of that 40-point game last week. And they cover against bad teams. They don't cover against good teams. Yeah, the Packers, the Bears, Seattle. But they got it done against the Cowboys, and they got it done last week against the Vikings. They're going to get it done this week against the Lions.
Dave, I'm so happy to have you back. Lisa, I think for Halloween, we got to get Dave in a Falcons costume, right? Don't we got to get the mascot? You've got connections there. I'd love to see him in that look for next week's show. I'm going to take Atlanta, too. I mean, they got their wish. They got their coach fired. That's what Detroit wants. Those guys want, in my opinion, no part of Matt Patricia. And even though they were good against Jacksonville last week, going into that game, that defense was allowing over 30 points per game. I don't see that changing against the Falcons. They've got Julio Jones back now, and that is a big, big deal. Atlanta's going to cover going away here on Sunday.
All right, Lions fans, you do you. Despite Dave dressing as Julio Jones for Halloween, if you take the points and bet on your team, you're going to collect more than $95 on a winning $50 bet. Lions fans, do you. FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. And guys, we're just getting started here on our Week 7 breakdowns, more game previews, including the Sunday Night Football matchup that's coming up in just about 10 minutes. All right, let's move on and get right to the guy that sets all the lines at the FanDuel Sportsbook for us. Joining us right now on the program, the odds maker himself, Mr. John Sheeran. John, we are not worthy. We just appreciate you being here. Give us a peek at that book, my man. Are there any betting trends this week that have you rethinking a specific line? What you looking at?
I think more internal discussion, Lisa, than necessarily betting trends, although it is being backed up by the money that we are seeing. The Steelers in Tennessee is probably the most interesting line for me. We do have the Titans as a -1.5 favorite now. That is where we did open it a week ago. That said, on Tuesday evening, this game was Pittsburgh favored by 2.5, so a full 4-point swing in basically 24 hours on this game. We did sit down as a team and talk about it on Wednesday. We couldn't agree, but we did land with the Titans favored by 1.5. I personally think the Steelers should be favored. I think they're coming off the back of an improved defensive performance against Cleveland. Okay, that might be slightly exaggerated by maybe a potential injury to Baker Mayfield, but we saw Minkah Fitzpatrick's pick 6, the first time we've heard from him all season. And I think if they build on that momentum, they're going to be hard to beat. About 85% of the money agrees with me as well, so pretty one-sided action on this game to back up that idea that we do see, or at least I do, the line move towards the Steelers, Lisa.
Well, I think your voice, Sharon, is the only one that should matter in those group discussions of regrading. I'm just saying, thank you, Sharon. Of course, you can also place your bets on the app right now. So let's do that by putting our math to our money now and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egros. Ed, you're joining us from Dallas. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of drama going on in Dallas. Let's look at some lines that you want to expose. What do you like on the book?
it wouldn't be a football season if we didn't have some drama in Dallas, right, Lisa? That's kind of how this works every single NFL season because the Cowboys, it's Jerry Jones, it's all part of it. But a lot of people are saying that, look, it's the Cowboys defense. That's the reason why they're struggling so much at the start of the year. But I combed through some advanced numbers, and I found something really crazy. In terms of passing EPA, the Dallas Cowboys actually have the fourth best success rate at 44.9%. Now, the actual dropback EPA ranks 26.206. But that's a product of giving up a few big plays and having the third worst starting field position defensively at right around the 33-yard line. And what's causing that poor field position defensively? It's turnovers. Ezekiel Elliott has 5 fumbles this season, more than any other running back in football, and that has been a problem for him throughout his career. Zeke fumbles once every 63.5 carries. For perspective, Christian McCaffrey fumbles once every 95 carries, and Derrick Henry loses it once every 132 carries. Cowboys have the worst turnover differential in football. I thought that might be random. Now I'm not so sure, so I'm taking Washington outright.
Well, I'll tell you, and this is why I'm fading you. I'll tell you why I believe it is random. To have 15 giveaways through 5 games, Ed, that hasn't happened to the Cowboys since 1960. Who owned the team then? I mean, who was their quarterback in 1960? That might have been their first year in the NFL. 24 points off turnovers for the Cardinals last week. I don't see Washington getting as lucky in the turnover battle on Sunday with Kyle Allen at quarterback. I believe Dallas will win this game and win by more than a touchdown. I'm fading you, sorry.
Well, Pony, you're right. 1960 is the first year of the Cowboys. Well done. 60th anniversary. Hey, another bet that I think has some good value here is the total between the Chiefs and Broncos at 46. Denver quarterback Drew Lock returned last week against the Patriots. And even though he didn't throw for a touchdown, his EPA CPOE composite score that week was .114. Actually good for 14th highest among qualifying gunslingers. But for his career, he's 21st in the same metric at .09. You blame that on inconsistency, such as a really bad game against the Chiefs last year, bad throw rate of 30%, felt plenty of pressure, and was only able to muster 3 points. This is a division game in Denver where KC doesn't want to show too much. There may also be a little bit of weather in the area, so I'm taking the under total.
I'm going to tell you for 2 reasons here. Number one, it seems like Kansas City plays up to the competition or down to the competition. I think they might come out a little bit flat here offensively against the Broncos. And speaking of the weather, this game might be in the high teens or low 20s at kickoff. So could be some snow. I'm with you. I'm going to tell you, I think it's a low-scoring affair.
All right, that's what our guys are betting on board right now, guys. Of course, along with the total, you can also bet the spread for this one. You saw it, the Broncos getting 9.5 in this matchup. If you think the Broncos can keep pace with my Kansas City Chiefs and cover that, place a winning $50 bet, and you're going to collect more than $97 on your wager. Remember, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to check out all the Week 7 lines available right now. And hey, new users, be sure to use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 when you sign up for your new account. And hey, for all of you new users, this is a special message just for you. Welcome, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. We are excited to have you with us, and we take care of our family. So let's break this whole thing down. Take a second here and get to our 101 segment here, a special fist bump for those of you new to sports betting. Dave, got to bring you in here for this. We've talked about spreads. We've talked about money line bets. We've talked about total wagers as well. Fill us in on what all of that means and give us your best bet for each here in Week 7.
Let's give a real simple explanation to all those terms, and let's start with the spread. Sorry, Detroit, because I actually like Atlanta in this game, so I'm going to use that as my example. The Falcons are -2, so that means the spread in the game is 2 points. If you're playing the Falcons, you need to win by at least 3, or you're not going to cover that spread. But I think they're going to win by the field goal or more. So that'll be my spread bet for the week. Now, the money line does not involve the spread at all. You could win by 1, you could win by 100. It's all the same. I'll use the Saints as my example here against Carolina. I think I look at that spread, I see 7.5. Kind of a tricky number. What if they only win by 7? They don't cover the spread. That's why I want to play the money line. But it's a little bit more expensive on a favorite like that. You see it says -370. That means you're risking $370 to win 100 on that money line. Now, the total, very simple. It's the total amount of points in a game by both teams. We're going to go to Vegas. Let's talk about the Raiders and the Bucks Sunday night. I think there are going to be a lot of points from both sides in this game. But even if it's from one side, it's okay. The total 51.5. So whether it's 52-0 or 28-27, we're looking for over 52 points here, and we're a winner, Lisa.
Awesome. Love it, Dave. Add them up, knock them down. Thank you very much. There you go, gamblers. Plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Also a ton of fun parlays. We've got prop bets, alternate lines for those of you who've been at this a little while. The party is open to everyone. Check it all out on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Time now to talk daily fantasy and how you can turn about $4 into $1 million. I like to say yes, just back up that truck and fill it up. Enter the FanDuel Sunday Million Contest on FanDuel.com and on the app right now. Of course, our job is to help you win that $1 million. So we're hooking you up with the best value plays for your lineup. FanDuel Editor-in-Chief JJ Zachariason joining us now in-house with his best values for Week 7.
One value I really like this week is Jerick Mckinnon at $5,500. There's no Raheem Mostert in that backfield, so McKinnon should step up, see a little bit more work. I don't think he's going to hit the 92% snap share that he hit a few weeks ago without Raheem Mostert, but he should get more work in that backfield. He has about a 12% target share this season. At the very least, he'll be the pass-catching back. The matchup's not that great, but the usage and the $5,500 salary make McKinnon a nice value this week. Then there's also T. Higgins at $5,700. Higgins has now seen at least a 20% target share in each of his last 4 weeks, making him one of 7 wide receivers to do that across the entire league. Cincinnati's also been one of the pass-heaviest teams in the league this year, so Higgins is going to see volume, and he gets a Browns secondary this week that's been the second best matchup in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So he's a really, really good play at $5,700. And then lastly, there's Kareem Hunt. Cincinnati's an above-average matchup for running backs, and without Nick Chubb over the last couple of weeks, Hunt has handled a 64% running back rush share and 11% target share. Those are pretty strong numbers. And most importantly, he's seen the goal line work. So I really like Kareem Hunt in this matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Great stuff, as always, JJ. Thank you. Now, make sure to use JJ's information for a shot at winning $1 million in the FanDuel Sunday Million Contest on FanDuel.com. Again, only about $4 to enter, and there's a prize pool of $2.5 million this week. It's right there on FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. And there's even more money to be had. Yes, there is. The Sunday Million is just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. There are also a bunch of free DFS contests that you can enter right now. Just log on to FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app. Sign up for your chance to win cash and really awesome, legit, cool prizes for free with our daily contests. They are available each and every week. Time now to pile them up and watch them pay. Let's bet some same-game parlays here, where you can combine multiple bets from one single game. Check it out. Of course, the bet is self-explanatory. I know you guys know what we're doing here. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet just by playing the same-game parlay with us. The FanDuel Sportsbook was the first to offer this great feature for NFL wagers. It's smooth and it is easy with us. FanDuel is giving all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each week of the season. So guys, let's take that gift. Let's place those $10 bets. And let's get creative here. Give me a same-game parlay bet that you guys are hammering here in Week 7. Dave, you first.
I like the Washington football team. Riverboat Ron, he lost his gamble last week when he went for 2 to end the game against the Giants, but he's not going to need to make decisions like that this week because Washington is going to win easily. Gibson, McKissick, McLaurin, a lot of offense here against the worst defense in the league. So give me Washington, and I'm going to buy up the total from 46. The alternate total here, 50.5 over. $10 makes me just shy of 40.
Well, we know what happens to Baker Mayfield when he plays the Steelers and Ravens. It's ugly, and the Browns turn out to be frauds. But this is right up their alley this week against Cincinnati, and that's why I'm going with the same-game parlay here. The Browns are 4-0. Their average margin of victory is 10 points when not playing the Steelers and Ravens this year. So take Cleveland to be leading at the half and take them to win the game by 1 to 13 points. A $10 risk-free wager collects you almost $40.
I'm going to the Jacksonville, the LA Chargers game for some value. Both quarterbacks rank in the bottom half among all starters in EPA CPOE composite. The Jaguars are also the slowest teams in terms of pace of play. So I'm taking the under 49 total, but I also think the Chargers will win between 1 to 13 points or by 1 to 13 points. So my same game parlay with a $10 bet scores me a total of more than $44.
Yes, I'll take that ROI. Thank you, guys. Awesome stuff. You can tail one of our guys, or hey, just build your own same game parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Take advantage, of course, of a risk-free $10 bet. We talked about it. They just place those bets for you. Click on the game you like, then hit the same game parlay tab and watch your odds increase. Be creative, have a ton of fun, and you can play with us right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Now to a huge AFC matchup featuring two teams. They're both 5-0. Steelers on the road at the Titans. We've been waiting for this one. Remember, this game was postponed because of COVID, rescheduled for this week. So we've got the Steelers' number 2 rushing defense up against the Titans running back there in Derrick Henry, coming off a monster 40-point fantasy game. I should know. I played against him and lost. 212 yards. He leads the league in rushing. Mike Tomlin said this is like Bud Dupree running the football, guys, except Henry is faster, obviously. Andrew Filipponi, you're in Pittsburgh. Steelers getting 1.5 points in this matchup. Which way are you going?
Well, a lot of Steelers players thought that Tennessee should have been forced to play this game earlier with practice squad guys called up to replace the COVID players or a forfeit. Believe me, I've heard from guys who actually believe that. I like Tennessee in this spot. One thing that I've done is I have underrated Ryan Tannehill. He's a different guy when he doesn't have Adam Gase on the sidelines coaching him, which happens to a lot of people. Adam Gase is a terrible head coach. I like the Titans here because of the injury. There's one thing the Steelers could not account for, and that is a Devin Bush injury. He polices the middle of the field. He's so good for them, their defensive quarterback. They lost their offensive quarterback last year, Ben Roethlisberger, and it was a disaster. I don't know how they make up for the Devin Bush loss. That's why I'm taking Tennessee.
This is going to be a great game either way. Ed, Pony decided whether to tail or fade you earlier in the show. Now it is your turn to return the favor. Which side are you taking here?
Oh, I'm tailing Pony here. I like the Titans, and I'm going to emphasize one of his key points. Ryan Tannehill deserves not just inclusion in the MVP conversation, but he deserves to be one of the favorites in the MVP conversation. Right now, his EPA CPOE composite score in non-garbage time is the best in football, .187. Better than Russell Wilson, better than Lamar Jackson, better than Pat Mahomes. Ben Roethlisberger comes in 18th in this metric. He does not have the same success rate throwing as Tannehill, trailing 55.8% to 46.2%. Home team with a better quarterback. That's what I like here. I'm taking the Titans. In fact, if this line moves a little bit, I might even go alternate spread and take Titans minus 2.5.
Okay, getting a little crazy. Thank you, Ed. I teased it, and now we deliver. You know how we roll. It's prime time. We're starting with the Sunday night matchup. Tom Brady and those Buccaneers heading west to Las Vegas. Tampa Bay, actually a 4-point road favorite here after their big win against Green Bay last week. Dave, give me your pick.
Oh, this is an easy pick for me. I'm going with the Raiders. This is one of my favorite angles in the NFL, is to bet against a team that won as a home underdog and then gets overpriced and is on the road as a favorite. If you're not good enough to be favored at home, why should you be favored on the road? I think the Raiders people are underestimating how good they are this year. They're a winning team, and the Bucs have not been great against winning teams. Yes, they covered and beat the Packers last week, but prior to that, they were 0-5-1 against the spread against winning teams. I think the Raiders are going to catch them off guard here and win this game outright as a 4-point underdog.
Okay, there it is. Raiders +4. Cole, got to get you back in here for this. You heard Dave's pick. Which team do you have winning in this one, and by how many points?
Well, Lisa, I don't know what Dave's thinking right now, because Tom Brady clearly has that Tampa Bay defense on the Tom Brady method. He has those guys, like you said earlier, drinking alkaline water. They're staying away from nightshades, no tomatoes, because they're tops in the league in nearly every category, top 10 across the board, and it's been JPP and Levante David really getting it done. They have 22 sacks. That's the most over the last 2 decades through the first 6 games. But on the other side of the coin, the last time Derek Carr faced off versus Tampa, it was 2016. That was a while ago, but his numbers, eye-popping. 513 yards, 410 of touchdowns, and an overtime win. And the Bucs, however, they're starting to find things out and starting to gel a little bit. So expect a big game from Tom Brady. 34-21 Tampa. They get the win here.
All right, taking it on the road. Good stuff, guys. John Sharon, got to get back to you here for your exclusive insight on the hottest bets that you're seeing at the sportsbook right now. Which teams are taking the most action here in Week 7?
It's undoubtedly the Packers, Lisa. Obviously away against the Houston Texans. The line's been hovering around a field goal. It's -3.5 right now. And 90% of the money plus has come for the Packers. Not surprising. A high total in that game as well, 57.5. Expected to be over and back, and I think the public are more willing to trust Aaron Rodgers with good reason, probably. The other interesting one, I think, is the total in Kansas City. Chiefs game, that's down from 48.5 to 46, as we know they're away in Denver against the Broncos. A lot of tread of snow over the weekend there, so I would watch that total. Think that might get as low as 44.5 come kickoff, Lisa, so maybe a bit of value there.
Awesome, Sharon. Thank you. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole, right now. Give some underdogs a little love here, Cole. Of course, betting on an underdog to win outright. Great way to get some great value and a lot of money as well. So let's get to that plus money, a little money line moneymakers here. Yep. Cole, who's on upset alert here in Week 7?
Well, check this out, Lisa. I'm going to go against the numbers. I'm going to take Houston over Green Bay. And the Packers, they've never lost to the Texans in Houston, but away from Lambeau Field, we know that defense, it's been leaky. They've allowed 30 or more points to Minnesota, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay. So give me the Texans in this one, 24-21. And then for my other upset, well, I'm going to go with Atlanta. They're losing to the Detroit Lions because the Falcons, they've allowed at least 23 or more in every single game. And the Lions, they've put up at least 23 in 4 of their 5 games. And despite getting that win, number 1 of the season over the Vikings, the Lions, they roll the victory in this one. It's a 4-point win, 24-20, Lisa.
Love it. Great stuff. All right, gamblers, now you can do your thing. You can tail Cole. You can place those bets right now. Head to the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Take a look at the odds for each matchup and see if there's a money line bet that you like. Remember, picking an underdog means plus money. All right, y'all. Let's keep it rolling here. You can make that money line bet on, or any bet on the app, risk-free right now, up to $1,000. All you have to do is sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by using the promo code right there on your screen. More ways 1,000. We've talked about it all show long. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit, guys. I call it the best mulligan in the business. So let's party. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet here. Let's make our viewers a little money. Dave, you first. What's your bet?
Well, you know, I like the Raiders, but I'm going to maximize my profit here by turning the minus sign in the line, the -4 for Tampa, the other way. I actually think the Raiders win this game by 6.5 points. So I'm going to bet $1,000 if they win by a touchdown, and I'm going to make a profit of $2,500.
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals are in a spot now where I think they've got a shot to win the NFC West, and it starts with this game against Seattle. I'm going to put 2 underdogs together. Arizona, 38 points against Dallas. Seattle couldn't stop a nosebleed defensively. Houston to keep it going offensively against the Packers, who looked awful against Tampa. Risk-free, $1,000. Put these 2 together, you're going to collect 6,500 big ones.
I'm going with the alternate spread in the Packers-Texans game, and it is a strange number, but who am I to question my own models? I have Green Bay minus 11.5 because if last week taught us anything, when Aaron Rodgers is taking on a good pass defense, he's going to struggle. If it's a lackluster pass defense like Houston has, he will do just fine, and I think he will continue that trend. $1,000 risk-free bet scores me $3,600.
Ed, don't you dare question your own models. That's right. Check yourself. All right, gamblers, make sure to sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account right now to place your bets. And remember, use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy. It's legal. It's live right now. Take your winnings if you hit and just get your money back to place that bet again if you don't. All right, let's get to the Super Bowl now. We are 6 weeks into the body of work that we can observe, we can rip through, we can decide who is going to win the Super Bowl. I know it's only week 7 right now. The Chiefs 5-1 rolling into this week. They are the favorite. They're at plus 390. Who's going to win the Super Bowl in 2021, Dave?
Who's looked the best through the first 6 weeks? I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers are the most well-rounded team. Their defense coming together. Big Ben said before the year started he's felt better than ever. I didn't believe him. I believe him. He looks awesome out there. I think 12-1's a good price in the Steelers.
Yeah, I love massive paydays. I like the Dolphins at 140-1 to win the Super Bowl. It is two a time. 3-3. They can make the playoffs. And if you make the playoffs, you give yourself a shot. Don't rule them out in the AFC East with the quarterback change.
You pretty much have to be the top seed in the AFC or the NFC pretty much to make it to the Super Bowl. If the Titans beat the Steelers, which I think will happen, Tennessee has the inside track to get the number one overall spot in the AFC. So at 17-1, I love that payout.
Yes, and Pony, I told you I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to find those 140-1 odds on the Dolphins. Great stuff, guys. You can place your bets right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Thanks to our analysts, and thank you to all of you for joining us here. You are watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney. Take our experts' tips. Make yourself some money. You can do it right now, again, on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. New users, More Ways 1000. Enjoy the games this weekend. Good luck with your bets, and we'll see you right back here next week.
TVG Friday night. Australia Racing with the 100th running of the Cox Plate from Mooney Valley. Brought to you by Magic Millions. Get free PPs at TVG.com. And join us Friday night, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific.
Real players, real stories.
First, I saw the commercial, then my friend recommended Betfair, and I signed up that day.
On Betfair Casino, you can play your favorite casino games anywhere in New Jersey, including blackjack, roulette, slots, and more.
It's just so much fun.
When I play online, I prefer Betfair.
No long drives to the casino. No hassle.
If you're still driving to the casinos, save the gas and tolls. Put that money in your pocket.
Joining is easy. Go to BetfairCasino.com or download the app and sign up today.
I saw the commercial on TV, downloaded the app, and within minutes, I was playing.
And now, when you join, you can play your first day risk-free up to $200.
You sign up, you play your first day risk-free. How great is that?
I've played those other online casinos, but for me, Betfair is the best.
I wish I signed up earlier. It's just so much fun.
Join the fun today at Betfair Casino.
Bush out of control? Tame it with the Lawnmower 3.0. Order today at Manscaped.com and receive free shipping, boxer briefs, and a travel bag.
What's up, Colorado? Welcome to week 7 of the NFL season. We made it. We're excited you're here with us. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, getting you ready for all the NFL action this week. And as always, I'm joined by our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make some money. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, place your bets with their advice throughout this show, and use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. We're going to help you place that in a little bit. Let's make all that money. It's easy, it's legal, it's live. They're ready, I'm ready, you're ready, and we are kicking things off with your Denver Broncos, hosting the defending Super Bowl champions and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Broncos have won 2 in a row, including at New England last week. Andrew Filipponi, Denver is getting 9.5 against Kansas City at home. Which side do you like?
I like Kansas City. Denver's got no shot here. I don't care if there's a blizzard in Denver this weekend. How can I bet on a team that didn't score an offensive touchdown last week? It's one thing to do it against New England without any practices, and they're playing guys like Julian Edelman and Damian Harris and Rex Burkhead. This is Kansas City. This is the Chiefs. This is Le'Veon Bell now in that lineup. It's Patrick Mahomes. Denver without Cortland Sutton isn't going to be able to keep up here, Dave. And this isn't the Orange Crush defense. Lyle Alzado isn't walking through that locker room door on Sunday. So they're going to get blasted at home by Kansas City. Take the defending Super Bowl champs.
don't act like you all of a sudden love Le'Veon Bell. You're fading him to begin the year that he would do anything, and now that he's on a new team, suddenly he's going to be an MVP again. Don't give me that. First of all, did you see the Chiefs against the Raiders? They don't play up to bad teams, Pony. They play up to teams like the Ravens, and when they play a team like the Broncos, they're a little flat. I think 9.5 points is too many. I like the Broncos in this spot.
It's a lot of points. That is a big spread. A time now for the right take here. Let's get out to Chicago, bring in our NFL expert, Cole Wright with Marquee Sports Network, formerly, of course, with the NFL Network. You heard the guys picked, Cole. Which team do you have winning, and by how many points in this matchup?
Well, Lisa, I'm a little conflicted when it comes to siding with Dave or Pony, but this Broncos team, they're finally starting to play some solid football with Drew Lock making his return and the Broncos winning back-to-back games. They have a right to be confident. Now, the offense, however, they need to show improvement. They're bottom third across the board, but when you flip the coin, like Dave said, the Kansas City defense, middle of the road, they tend to play to their competition more times than not, but either way, the numbers, they favor Patrick Mahomes unbelievably. He's never lost to the Broncos, and the Chiefs, well, they've won the last 9 games versus the Denver Broncos. So Mahomes, I see him passing for at least 3 touchdowns. This is going to be a big-time KC win, 41-14 Chiefs. They roll in this one, Lisa.
All right, Broncos fans, you can just go ahead and fade our guys, fade Cole there. If you roll with your guys, back the Broncos and take the points. A winning $50 bet on Denver means you're going to collect more than $97 on your wager. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. New users, more ways, 1,000. Now to another huge AFC matchup right in front of us, featuring 2 teams that are both 5-0 here. Steelers on the road at the Titans. Remember, guys, this game was postponed because of COVID, rescheduled here for this week. So here we are. Steelers' number 2 rushing defense will be tested by Titans running back Derrick Henry, who leads the league in rushing and is coming off a massive 212-yard day. Steelers getting 1.5 points in this matchup. Pony, you're in Pittsburgh. Which side do you like?
Well, the Steelers have been outstanding. You know, they're every bit their 5-0 record with what they did to Cleveland, stopping them out and putting them in their place. But here's the thing. The Steelers have not gone on the road, Dave, since week 1. And there's this thing here in Pittsburgh about home Ben versus road Ben. He has not been the same quarterback away from Heinz Field late in his career. In fact, in Tennessee for his career, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a 1-2 record. His only victory came against Zach Mettenberger, who I don't know where he is right now, maybe trying to latch on in the Canadian Football League. So it's a bad spot for the Steelers because of the Devin Bush injury at inside linebacker, too. Tennessee, very underrated. They're going to win this game in cover.
Well, they are missing big 55, but I don't think that's going to really make them not all of a sudden be able to stop the run, because they're second best in the league, giving up only 66 yards. The key to beating the Titans, stop Derrick Henry, and I think the Steelers are one of the few teams in the league that can actually do that. Home or road, I think Big Ben just looks phenomenal this year. I think he's going to get it done. I'm going to take the Steelers.
He looks very good, and he looks very confident as well. All right, guys, if you think Big Ben and the Steelers can cover this, you're going to tail Dave there. Place a winning $50 bet on Pittsburgh. You're going to collect more than $95 on your wager. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And, guys, we are just getting started on our Week 7 breakdowns. Ahead, we're talking primetime. Yes, we're going to the bright lights, getting our guys' picks for the Sunday night and Monday night football games. That's coming up on the program in just about 10 minutes. And, of course, the guy that sets all the lines here at the FanDuel Sportsbook for us, the odds maker himself, Mr. John Sheeran. John, thanks for being on the program again this week. Give us a sneak peek at that book. Are there any betting trends that you have that you're kind of rethinking a specific line this week?
Yeah, I think the Steelers, the guys have just spoken about it, and I love how everybody's recency bias is playing out now, at least after 6 weeks. At the start of the year, the Titans were the most overrated team in football, based on one season where they got to the postseason last year. Couldn't lean on Derrick Henry to run the football. Pony's loving them now, changes his mind about Tannehill. I don't understand this. The Titans are what they are. They're a good football team. They've won, I think, all bar the Bills game by less than 1 score. And in all of those games, they were in big trouble in terms of win probability of actually going on to win those games. So I think the Titans in this spot they're favored right now by 1.5, but I actually think the Steelers should be favored. I think the Steelers' body of work is better. I think they're building momentum defensively. We saw Minkah Fitzpatrick's pick 6 last week. And if they build on that at all, yes, having to travel to Tennessee, but I expect the Steelers to win here. So for me, that's the right side of the line I'm worried about. The money is backing it up as well. At least 85% of the money for the Steelers getting 1.5 points.
All right, Sharon, thank you. Of course, John Sharon sets the lines at the FanDuel Sportsbook for us. You can be there at the Meadowlands. You can also place your bets right there on the app. Ed can do it right from Dallas, so let's do that. Let's put some math to our money and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egros. Ed, what lines need to be exposed this week? What do you like on the board right now?
Well, we got to talk about Dallas and Washington, don't we, for obvious reasons. And a lot of people around here are blaming this Dallas defense for this fetid start. But when I looked at the numbers, I found something quite surprising. In terms of passing EPA, the Dallas Cowboys actually have the 4th best success rate defensively at 44.9%. Now, the actual drop-back EPA ranks 26.206, but that's a product of giving up a few big plays and having the 3rd worst starting field position defensively at near the 33-yard line. And what's causing this poor field position defensively? It's turnovers. Ezekiel Elliott has 5 fumbles this season, more than any other running back in football, and it really has been a problem throughout his career. Zeke fumbles once every 63.5 carries, and for perspective, the other great running backs, Christian McCaffrey fumbles once every 95 carries. Derrick Henry loses the handle once every 132 carries. Cowboys have the worst turnover differential in football. Normally that means they're unlucky, but I think there's actually something to it where they're coughing it up a good bit more than they should. So I have Washington winning this game outright.
Ed, I'm fading you. I'm shocked. Not because you're not, I'm not saying you're a Cowboys homer, but so many people in your analytics community say turnovers are not transferable week to week, season to season. And if this game is played straight up, if you're telling me that Washington doesn't win the turnover battle, I don't think they're a better team than the Cowboys with Kyle Allen at quarterback. So I'm not expecting Washington to go +3 in turnovers, and that's why I'm fading you and taking Dallas to win the game.
Cowboys also have a ton of offensive line injuries. And, Pony, there's another line that I think has some good value here. It's actually the total between Seattle and Arizona at 55.5. Be careful here, because while I love the quarterback matchup, it doesn't promise a lot of points, though. Russell Wilson is cooking more, yes, but his receivers are dropping more throws. Seahawks targets have a drop rate of 6.2%. That's 8th highest in football. Wilson's on-target rate is phenomenal, but drives stall with drops. Kyler Murray's on-target numbers are not as impressive. He comes in 28th, 71.1%. That blowout win against Dallas could have been even more lopsided had he connected with receivers a few more times. However, Murray is the most mobile quarterback in football in terms of first downs rushing by a quarterback, 23 to be exact in that department. So if Murray runs it a lot or hands it off to Kenyon Drake a lot, that winds the clock. If Wilson's receivers drop too many passes, they're not scoring as much. So this total is a little high for me. I'm taking the under.
I'm going to fade you on this. This seems really risky to take under in this game. I could see it being 24-20 at halftime, and you're dead in the water. I mean, Kyler Murray's 32-1 right now to win the MVP. Russell Wilson's the odds-on favorite at -125. I think Murray is out to put up a huge game and prove that he should be discussed in the MVP talk, and I think he's going to have a chance to have a huge game. Yeah, he'll run the ball. He'll run it right into the end zone. I like the over.
Yeah, and the Seahawks don't even have Antonio Brown yet. We'll just put that on ice right now. Of course, in addition to betting the total, guys, you can also bet the spread. So if you think Russell Wilson keeps cooking and the Seahawks cover this line, you're going to collect more than $97 on your winning $50 bet on Seattle. Remember, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now to check out all the Week 7 lines. And you can do it right now. And also new users, make sure to use that promo code MOREWAYS1000. We've been talking about it all show long. It is on your screen right there. MOREWAYS1000. All right, and for all you new users, just want to say a nice, warm welcome. Colorado, we are excited to have you with us, and we take care of our family here at FanDuel. So let's break this whole thing down and get to our 101 segment. Really going to teach you guys how this whole thing works if you're new to it. It's a special fist bump for you guys new to sports betting. Dave, got to get you in here for this. We've talked about spreads. We've talked about money line bets. We've gone over total wagers as well. Fill us in now on what all this means and give us your best bet for each here in Week 7.
Well, if you've been betting sports for years, you know what a spread is. But if you hear this term and you're wondering, what is that? Let's use the Falcons and Lions as an example. The spread in this game is 2 points. That's the amount of points that a team needs to win by for you to cash a bet. So if you're betting the Falcons, which I'm going to do, they have to win by 3, otherwise they don't cover the spread. If you happen to like the Lions, if they lose, but they lose by 1, you're still okay because the Falcons didn't cover. But I think the Falcons are going to win by at least 3, so that's where my money's going. Now, a money line does not involve a spread. You just have to win the game. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or 100 points. It's all the same. Let's use the Saints as my example here. Carolina is a 7.5-point underdog, so that spread is a little bit tricky to me. Maybe the Saints only win by 7 and they don't cover the spread. I think it's much safer to just play them on the money line. It gets a little bit more expensive, though, in this case, where it says minus 370. That means you're risking $370 to win 100 on that money line. I'm willing to do that. And then the final bet is going to be the total. That is very simple. You take, at the end of the game, the 2 scores, and you total the points together, then take that number, and that's what we're looking for. 51.5 is the total in the Raider game. I think they're going to score at least 52 points, so I'm betting the over 52. If you'd like the under, they would have to score less than the 51.5. But I think it's going to be both teams maybe up in the 30s, so I think for me this is an easy over on the total, Lisa.
Yes, and get it now while it's down there at 51.5. Thank you, Dave. Great stuff as always. Thanks for bringing us into that. And there you go, Colorado. Plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. And also a ton of fun parlays. We've got prop bets as well and alternate lines who, for those of you who have been at this for a little while, the party is open for everybody of all levels and stages. It's all on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. We are excited to have you with us. Time now to talk daily fantasy and how you can turn about $4 into $1 million. And as I like to say, back up that truck and fill it up. Enter the FanDuel Sunday Million contest on FanDuel.com and on the app right now. Our job, of course, here on the show is to help you win that $1 million. So we're hooking you up with the best value plays for your lineup. FanDuel Editor-in-Chief JJ Zacharyson in-house with his best values for Week 7.
One value I really like this week is Jerick Mckinnon at $5,500. There's no Raheem Mostert in that backfield, so McKinnon should step up, see a little bit more work. I don't think he's going to hit the 92% snap share that he hit a few weeks ago without Raheem Mostert, but he should get more work in that backfield. He has about a 12% target share this season. At the very least, he'll be the pass-catching back. The matchup's not that great, but the usage and the $5,500 salary make McKinnon a nice value this week. Then there's also T. Higgins at $5,700. Higgins has now seen at least a 20% target share in each of his last 4 weeks, making him one of 7 wide receivers to do that across the entire league. Cincinnati's also been one of the pass-heaviest teams in the league this year, so Higgins is going to see volume, and he gets a Browns secondary this week that's been the second best matchup in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So he's a really, really good play at $5,700. And then lastly, there's Kareem Hunt. Cincinnati's an above-average matchup for running backs, and without Nick Chubb over the last couple of weeks, Hunt has handled a 64% running back rush share and 11% target share. Those are pretty strong numbers. And most importantly, he's seen the goal line work. So I really like Kareem Hunt in this matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Awesome stuff, JJ, as always. Now, you all make sure to use JJ's information for a shot at winning $1 million right now in the Sunday Million contest on FanDuel.com. Again, it's only about $4 to enter. There is a prize pool of more than $2.5 million. It's happening right now, FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. And there's even more money to be had. The Sunday Million is just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com. There are also a bunch of free DFS contests that you can enter right now. Just log on to FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app and sign up for your chance to win cash and really cool, legit prizes, guys. And it's all happening for free with our daily contests available each and every week. Right now on the show, it's time to pile them up and just watch them pay out. Let's bet some same-game parlays here where you can combine multiple bets from one game. Check it out. The bet is really self-explanatory here. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet as you combine your wagers for the same game. Now, the FanDuel Sportsbook was the first to offer this great feature for NFL wagers. It is smooth and it is so easy with us. FanDuel's given all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each week of the season. So guys, here we are in week 7. Let's place those $10 bets and get creative here, right? Give me a same game parlay bet that you're hammering for week 7. Dave, you first. What you got?
I'm going to go to Washington. The Washington football team will crush the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are one of two teams, the other are the Jets, that has not covered all year long. They're 0-6 against the spread. That is going to turn to 0-7 here. So I'm going to take Washington, but because Dallas's defense is so poor, this game is going to go way over. Washington's going to score probably somewhere in the 35 to 40 point range. So it's easy. I'm going to buy up the alternate total to 50.5. $10 is going to get me back just about 50.
Cleveland rocks unless they're playing a good team. We saw Baker Mayfield against Pittsburgh and Baltimore look like garbage. And this is a game that's right up his alley. This year, against teams with a losing record, Baker Mayfield is 3-0 with 6 touchdowns to only 1 interception. And here come the Cincinnati Bengals. So here's what you do. You take Cleveland to lead at halftime with their run game and with Mayfield not turning it over, and you take them to win between 1 and 13 points in their 4 wins. Average margin of victory is 10. That gets you $10 risk-free, collect $38.56.
Sometimes it's easier to find value in those games that nobody's talking about, and I don't know a soul who's talking about Jacksonville at the LA Chargers. Both quarterbacks rank in the bottom half among all starters in EPA CPOE composite. Jaguars are the slowest teams and are one of the slowest teams in terms of pace of play. So I'm taking the under 49, but I also think the Chargers win by a margin of between 1 to 13 points. So my same game parlay with a $10 bet scores me a total more than $44.
Look at that ROI. Awesome stuff, guys. Now you can tell one of our guys, or hey, just do your own thing. Build your own same game parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Take advantage of that risk-free $10 bet. They place them for you, or do your own thing. All you have to do, click on the game that you like, then hit that same game parlay tab and just watch your odds increase right in front of your eyes. Be creative here. Have tons of fun. Get it done here week 7. We appreciate you betting with us and hanging with us here on the show. Now, what I tease, I promise I'm going to get to. So here we are in prime time. We're getting to those bright lights in the Sunday night matchup. Tom Brady and the Bucs head to Las Vegas. We got Tampa Bay, a 4-point road favorite here after their big win against Green Bay last week. Dave, give me your pick here on this matchup.
Well, welcome to the Death Star, Tom Brady. You're coming all the way off of a win against the Packers at home to Las Vegas. I think the Bucs come out flat in this spot. One of my favorite things to do is bet against a team who was a home underdog and won, and then the following week, John Sheeran gets excited and makes them a favorite on the road. I don't think the Bucs deserve to be favored here at Vegas. I like the Raiders to win this game outright, as a matter of fact, and the Bucs really don't do well against good teams. Yes, they beat the Packers last week, but aside from that, they were 0-5-1 against the spread their prior 6 games against a team with a winning record. Believe it or not, the Raiders have a winning record. I think a lot of people think they're a losing team. They're not. They're winners this year. John Gruden's got them soaring on third downs, 52%, third best in the league. I think they win this game.
All right, Cole, got to get you back in here for this. You heard Dave's pick right there. Which team do you have winning this matchup on Sunday night? By how many points?
Well, Dave, you call it the Death Star. I call it the giant Roomba out there in the desert. The Bucs, they're in first place, I think, because Tom Brady has that defensive unit right now on the TB12 method. You're keeping them away from nightshades. They're number 1 in the league, top 10 across the board defensively, and it's JPP and Levante David leading the way. They have 22 sacks. That's the most over the last 20 years through the first 6 games. But on the flip side, the last time Derek Carr faced off against the Bucs, it was a long time ago, 2016, but his numbers were eye-popping. 513 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an overtime win. The Bucs, however, they're starting to gel, so expect a big game from Tom Brady after that blowout of Aaron Rodgers. 34-21, that's where I see this game going in favor of Tampa.
All right, Bucs -4 there. Let's get to the Monday night matchup here. The 5-1 Bears, they're in Los Angeles taking on those 4-2 Rams in a battle, a big one here in the NFC. Bears getting 6 points here. Pony, which side do you like?
This is a classic game, Lisa, that matches lucky versus good. The Chicago Bears have no business being in first place right now. They've gotten very little offensively. They had to make a quarterback change to Nick Foles. They can't run the ball. And the Rams just came off a loss, but to a very desperate team. San Francisco needed that game. They couldn't lose 3 in a row at home. The Bears are just thrilled that they've got 5 wins right now. So the urgency factor, I think, is a real thing in this game. And that's a big reason why I like the Rams to win by more than 6 in prime time.
All right, there it is. Rams giving 6 in this matchup. Ed, Pony decided whether to tail or fade you earlier in the show. So, hey, why don't you return the favor here? Which side are you taking?
I'm tailing Pony here, but I think it's going to be close. Watch this line carefully. Biggest difference in terms of Chicago's offense with Nick Foles instead of Mitch Trubisky is average depth of target. This season, Trubisky's ADOT is 10 yards, the longest in football. For Foles, it's 16th at 8 yards. More of a conservative offense that does function slightly better, but still nowhere near the top tier in football. For perspective, Jared Goff's ADOT is 7.3 yards this season, coming in 24th. But that offense, far more functional. Dropback EPA is 8th highest with the Rams. The Bears are 25th. And while I know LA took it on the chin against the Niners, head Cooper Kupp caught a few more open passes. It's a different game. I have this at 6.5. So again, watch this line carefully. But for now, I'm taking the Rams.
Great stuff, guys. Thank you. John Sharon, coming back to you right now. Let's get to your exclusive information here on the hottest bets that you're seeing at the sportsbook right now. Which team is taking the most action?
It's definitely the Green Bay Packers away against the Houston Texans, Lisa. That line has hovered around about a field goal all week. I don't expect a lot of movement in it, but 90% of the money is coming for Green Bay. Expect that with a high total of 57.5 to go up and down the field, particularly the way Houston have been moving the ball as well. And I think the public trusts Aaron Rodgers, rightly so, a little bit more, so don't expect that to change a lot between now and Sunday, Lisa.
Awesome, Sharon. Thank you. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole, right now. Let's give some underdogs a little love here, Cole. Of course, betting on an underdog to win outright is a great way to get some great value and, of course, a great big payout as well. So let's get some moneyline moneymakers for our viewers now, Cole. Who's on upset alert here in Week 7?
Well, Lisa, I'm going to go against the numbers here. I'm going to take Houston over Green Bay. The Packers, they've never lost in Houston. And away from Lambeau, I know that their defense, it's been leaky at best. They've allowed 30-plus to Minnesota, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay. So give me Houston in this one, 24-21 at the house. Now, Atlanta, they've allowed 23 or more points in every single game. In Detroit, they posted at least 23 in 4 of their 5 games. And despite getting that first win of the season over the Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta, they have an interim head coach in Raheem Morris for a reason. So you can count on the Lions to get a win here, 24-20. Detroit, they roll the victory.
All right, there you go, y'all. Gamblers, you can tail Cole there. You can head to the FanDuel Sportsbook app, take a look at the odds for each matchup. Hey, and see if there's a money line bet that you like as well. Remember, picking an underdog means plus money. All right, let's keep it going on this show and get to our risk-free bets. You can take that money line bet, you can make it right now, or you can make any bet on the app, risk-free up to $1,000. All you have to do is sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by using the promo code MOREWAYS1000. We've talked about it all show long. It's right there on your screen. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel is going to refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. You guys, I just think of this as the best mulligan in the business. So let's party. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. Let's make our viewers a little money here. Dave, you first. What you hammering?
You know, if it's a free shot, you might as well maximize what we're trying to do here. I like the Raiders. I could bet them at +4 and make a little bit less than 1,000. Let's try to make more money than that. I'm going to take them to be the favorite instead of Tampa. So now I'm going to make the Raiders a 6.5-point favorite by doing the alternate spread. Now I'm getting +250 on the odds. So $1,000 would get me back $3,500.
Dave, you got something right. I mean, you got to go bold with these bets when they're risk-free. You got to try to hit a grand slam, and that's why I'm going to take 2 dogs parlayed together here. I'm telling you, the Cardinals are the Seahawks' kryptonite because of how well they run the ball. They average over 7.5 yards per carry. They can keep Russell Wilson on the sideline. Arizona to win, plus Houston to win at home. That front seven much better with Romeo Crennel now the coach. They will get to Aaron Rodgers. The Texans, look at that payout on the screen right there. You're going to collect over $6,000 when these 2 teams win.
Let's go back to this Packers-Texans game, and I think John Sheeran was hinting at this, where Aaron Rodgers has that bounce-back game against a bad pass defense. I'm going to do an alternate spread to where I think Green Bay wins by at least a dozen. Aaron Rodgers carving up Houston. That $1,000 risk-free bet scores me $3,600.
There it is, gamblers. Make sure to sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account right now. New users, special love for you. Remember, use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy, it's legal, it's live right now. Take your winnings if you hit and just get your money back if you don't. All right, y'all, we are into week 7 now. That means we have 6 weeks to evaluate that body of work and see who we think is going to win the Super Bowl. So let's look ahead, because this calendar is going to turn away from 2020. We are going to get to 2021. We will have the Super Bowl game played, and I want to know who's going to win it. So let's get these guys back in here. Dave, I'm coming right to you. The Chiefs are still the favorite there at plus 390. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I think the best odds that I see right there are the Steelers at 12-1.
Best value is Miami at 140-1 because they can make the playoffs with Tua at 3-3.
I still believe in the Seahawks, but out of the AFC, how about the Tennessee Titans getting that inside track, beating the Steelers this weekend?
Those are very quick picks. I actually wanted a little more context from you guys. But whatever. The bet's the bet. The money's the money. I appreciate it. And yes, Pony, I was scrolling all the way down my FanDuel Sportsbook app to find the Dolphins there at 140-1. I actually love the pick. Why not? Throw your money out there. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging with us here on FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. Thanks to our analysts for doing an awesome rock star job again. Take their tips. Make yourself some cash. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. It's free. It's easy. It is legal and live. We've got extra love, of course, for our new users. Use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get that risk-free bet up to $1,000 right now. Again, thanks for hanging with us. You've been watching FanDuel's More Ways to Win. Enjoy the games this weekend, and good luck with your bets.
Saturday night. Action from Japan with the Great One Kikuka Show, the Japanese St. Ledger from Kyoto Racecourse. Get free PPs at TVG.com and watch and wager Saturday night, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific.
Real players, real stories.
First, I saw the commercial, then my friend recommended Betfair, and I signed up that day.
On Betfair Casino, you can play your favorite casino games anywhere in New Jersey, including blackjack, roulette, slots, and more.
It's just so much fun.
When I play online, I prefer Betfair.
No long drives to the casino. No hassle.
If you're still driving to the casinos, save the gas and tolls. Put that money in your pocket.
Joining is easy. Go to BetfairCasino.com or download the app and sign up today.
I saw the commercial on TV, downloaded the app, and within minutes I was playing.
And now, when you join, you can play your first day risk-free up to $200.
You sign up, you play your first day risk-free. How great is that?
I've played those other online casinos, but for me, Betfair is the best.
I wish I signed up earlier. It's just so much fun.
Join the fun today at Betfair Casino.
TVG Friday night. Australia Racing with the 100th running of the Cox Plate from Mooney Valley. Brought to you by Magic Millions. Get free PPs at TVG.com and join us Friday night, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific.